Good morning, everyone. This is John Cagle with Selltis, and I'm happy to have you on this call this morning. This morning in our coffee with Selltis, I want to talk just a little bit about goal setting and how you can start to, if you're not already, be able to a greater degree, be able to start to manage your business, especially the front end of the sales cycle, with goal setting and the resulting charts and various list views that you can put together to, again, manage your business. So let's get started. I am recording this morning so that we can jump in here and get it going. So this morning, let's talk about goals and what's available to you in Selltis. I kind of picture maybe a 2 or 3 part series on this, and with the idea that we can get you thinking and then start to put together some specific examples in the next couple of sessions. So first of all, setting goals for tracking input or forecast. I want you to know that you can think about both sides of the coin here. So for example, you can set goals to track input that says, I need to have a certain number of, say, sales touches, whether that be an email blast or sales visits, all of the different types of activity histories that will get us to a point where we're generating enough activity to reach our revenue and our margin goals. On the flip side of the coin, you can certainly think about tracking goals for a forecast. So you're working backwards from that margin instead of upwards from, say, the input. And so think about both sides of the coin when you're thinking about these goals, and we'll show some examples here in just a moment or two. You can set goals for really just about anything in Selltis, and the goal record in Selltis is just another category. So you have companies, contacts, locations, terms and conditions, opportunities, all of those are categories, and goal is another category where you're just connecting to these other records. So you're connecting to, say, the vendor record in Selltis. Whoops, I didn't mean to go up like that. You're connecting to the user record. You're connecting to a territory record, a product record, a source record in Selltis, or any of the other things if you customize above and beyond, let's say, the normal categories. We certainly can connect that category to a goal record. So we're starting to generate dashboards that look like this, especially this last one that came into view, where we have goal lines in the dashboard that allow us to see either trend analysis or exception reporting. So you guys have heard me talk about these two terms probably in the past. So trend reporting is simply looking at that trend over time. We're always looking for that up and to the right, Ernie? So we're saying, where is my goal for a particular month, and are we meeting that over time? Exception reporting is a little bit different. We may look at a dashboard and say, you know, we have a big exception here for this month versus our red dashed goal line, or for this month I have a big exception. What happened? Did we get a big sale? Did our margins go up significantly in one particular product line? Whatever the case would be. So questions on that? All right, well, we're going to take a look in the demo database at what this looks like. But I was mentioning that the goal record in Selltis is driving that red dashed line that we see in either that trend or exception report, whether it be a trend line, whether it be a bar chart, or whether it be a gauge chart. And we can take a look at those types of things as we go along here. But the goal record in Selltis is connected, as I mentioned, simply to these other categories, to a user, a territory, a vendor, a product, etc. And the goal record in Selltis, just as we begin to work on some examples, if it's not connected to any of those categories, anticipates that it's a company-wide record. So you can see in the background here I have a goal record for, that's called Selltis user, and it's connected to a specific user. So when we look at data related to a particular user or a particular supplier, which is back here, we would anticipate then setting goal records for that particular case. With no connection, again, we're talking about the company as a whole. And in this case, we're looking for the company to do $7.2 million in opportunity generation on an annual basis. Okay. So far, so good. Questions on that? I'm going to go into it in a little bit of detail, but are you guys on the same page with me so far?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Real good. All right, so we've talked about the result of entering goals and data are displayed so we can see that input or the forecast. And let's take a look at a specific example here out in a demo database. So here we're looking at a dashboard. Hopefully everyone can see my screen okay, where we have a goal for the company overall for opportunity input. And we can see the trend line over the last 12 months in regards to that goal. That goal, as I hover over it, is $500,000. So far, so good. This is a list of opportunities that I've input, dollar value by month, and then I have a goal.
Total? Is the monthly amount that's in there, is that like a total added of all opportunities or a certain opportunity, or to a certain company?
It's a good question, Jenny. So in this case, I'm setting this for the entire company. I want to look at the company first and then start drilling down by a product, a particular target company. Jenny, good question. A vendor, a product, etc. But I'm starting at the overall basis. So the goal record that's driving this $500,000 is right here. So let me go to goals all as a desktop. You can see I have a goal for company wide. There are no connections here on this goal record. So that means it is company wide. It's not about a territory or a user or a specific, say, target company, as Jenny just asked about. It could be. And you can see that I've set $6 million annually as an opportunity input goal. So if I were to go back out to my desktop, 6 million divided by 12, this is a monthly view, gives me 500,000, and I can see how I'm doing against that. Okay?
Yeah. Actually, that hit right on something that I need.
Yeah, it's actually the concept's pretty simple. So I will warn you that I'll want to probably walk through, or Deborah's on the line with us this morning. We'll want to probably walk you through this once or twice so you kind of get the hang of setting up the chart. But once you do it a couple of times, it's actually pretty simple. But today I want to make sure that we have the concept down. All right, I'm going to look at another desktop where we're talking about product input. Now again, this is a demo database. So there's not a huge amount of data to show this against. But here's a product for ASCP. Now, in this particular view, it says the goal is $100,000 per month. And I've met that once with a huge exception, and then nothing, 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 and then up to $200,000. So we're driving this goal line from a goal record. And if I go back to goals all here, I would expect to see a goal for ASCP. I don't, so I'll show you a little trick. So here's my product. Setting up a goal record for ASCP. And we'll concentrate just on opportunities, but take a look at goal, quotes and activity logs in just a second. And let's just say overall, 200,000 a month or 2.4 million annually. So let me save that. I have a goal for ASCP. Now what I've done is I've tricked this desktop to show a goal record for every product. So this is a little tricky. Hang in there with me. The view is set up with a standard or constant goal. I want you to know that you can do that. It's actually not looking at that goal record yet. I don't want to get technical in this call, but I want you to know that you can go from a standard goal for any product. Try to find another one that has a goal line here. I don't see one. But you can set a standard goal for any product or make it dependent on the product that you choose, which is what we're typically most interested in. So, excuse me, I chose the wrong view. Highlight the view before you start to edit it, right? View, properties, chart. So we're going to edit that. You can see that Brian has written this view to always have a goal line of $100,000. We're going to choose a goal line that's based on our actual goal for the ASCP. Hit apply. And now we see the $200,000 rather than that static goal. So let me summarize that and go back through that one more time. When we looked at this view originally, this is a view about inputs and goals of opportunities. We had set a static goal line for any product in the view. And we'll go through these settings in our next session. Then we changed the settings to absolutely be dependent on the goal record connected to ASCP. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Again, we had a static, so you can set a static goal. So if it's for any given product, the goal is $100,000 a month. Set that in the view. Or you can make the view dependent or dynamic on the master view that you're choosing, in this case a list of products. All right, let's go back to that goal record a little bit. So we had a goal for ASCP as a product group, right? That's how we made the connection. We had set an ops goal. We can also say that we want an average number of ops to be created each month for this product of, say, 120 or 10 per month. So we're always dividing that annual into a monthly view. And we could say for quotes, we could set up a trend line or an exception report for quotes, where we would say, you know what, it's half of that. We take 2 opportunities for every quote. So I'm going to add a quotes goal of this. Or excuse me, I'm sorry. Count of 120, but a quotes goal of this. Perhaps in orders. Now, let's continue on down this list a little bit. You can also set goals for different types of activities. So for this product line, I may want to say, you know what, I need my team to be making 10 sales calls a month right here. And so I can set a goal line based on those activities. 10 a month for this product, and I can show that in a view. You guys with me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not going to show all of those results, but we've taken a look at the company as a whole. We've taken a look at a particular product, and we can take a look at a specific salesperson too. So now we're basing on our goal record for this particular user. You can see for an opportunity input, and I'm just concentrating on one category. Certainly, again, we can look at quotes. We can look at activities such as sales visits. We can look at any other category that you have based on this particular master view. And you can see that he has a goal of $1 million a year divided by 12 is roughly 83,333 per month. And he's exceeding expectations once in a while, not doing anything, exceeding expectations, etc. So again, very little data in the demo database, but I think you're getting the idea of how we're starting to set this up. All right. Let me go back to my presentation for just a second because I want to remind you guys again that you can set these goals up based on any of these. So if you think of a master view of products like we looked at with that ASCP product, we looked at a user, that DeMarco guy, we looked at the company as a whole. Any of those can act as a master view for setting up this type of chart view. So again, you can get a feel for the input and or a forecast. So far so good. Questions? Am I doing good? Is it pretty clear?
This is exactly what we need.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I'm sorry, who was speaking?
That was Sarah.
Sarah. Hi, Sarah. So good, Sarah, we're going to look at this in terms of projects. We'll break those projects down into different tiers. We'll break those projects down for users, input, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of the connections that you can make from the project we can use as a goal. So target companies, your EPCs that you're calling on, et cetera. All right. Now, here's a little kicker to think about too. So not only can I set up a goal desktop and various reports or lists based on one of these categories or more, I can also set up a goal desktop for 2 categories combined. We'll talk about that next time, but think about a user and a product line, for example. So we really need this Kaggle character to emphasize a particular product line for the next year. We really want to impress a particular supplier, or we really want to build up a product division, Sarah. So we really need these 2 salespeople to be selling this particular product line or for this division almost exclusively. So let's set goals for the 2 different categories combined. And so we can do that in Selltis also. So we'll walk you through a couple of specific examples. All right, so far so good. I think you guys are getting the general idea, and I didn't want you to worry about the technicalities today, but we will get into that in the next couple of sessions, hopefully with some specific examples that you guys provide to me. So I'm going to rely on you to not have a boring John example, but an example that is real life for you guys so we can set it up and walk through it. And hopefully be an example that you can share with other people that might be viewing it around the country. All right, I want to touch on one other topic before I let you go and start to ponder on this for today. And that is, how do I set these goals? You know, we have, for some of you that are on the line, Ernie is an exception, Jenny's an exception. Some of you are new with Selltis, and I don't have any trend data to go look at to set a goal. Some of you do, and we need to examine that to see if that will help us set a goal. But I wonder if a simple little calculator like this would help you determine some input goals. And I'd like to show you this in a real spreadsheet. But what we're saying is, perhaps with an overall goal of this amount of revenue, this is typically what our margin is, this is kind of a gross profit target, what kind of input down this pipeline do I really need to put in order to get to those numbers? And we can track that in Selltis and see where you are at any given point in time. Again, using the same type of ideas, the same goal functionality that we've been discussing here for the last 10 minutes or so. So let me show you what that looks like in a little spreadsheet. Perhaps this would be helpful for you as you think about setting goals in Selltis. So here's a sample company, a little bit smaller than some of you, a little bit bigger than some of you. But we said, you know what? this year, we typically have 30% margins, and our yearly goal revenue-wise is $25 million, yielding us a gross profit of $7.5 million. In any given year, about half of our business is kind of repeating. It's not greenfield. It's stuff that we mostly rely on with some decent customer maintenance. We're getting repeat orders of about half of our yearly goal, which means that I need to go find $12.5 million of new business this year. Well, how do I go about doing that? I'm quoting to companies as an end result of working, say, opportunities and making sales touches. So this particular little calculator, which I can send anybody a copy of, is just going backwards. It's saying, you know what, if my quote hit rate is 50%, then in order to reach this goal of $12,500,000 in new business, I need to be carrying this amount of open quotes at any given time or for the year. And if the average, for the year, and then if I divide that by 12, each month I need to be developing this much open quote activity. And if my average quote is $10,000, I need to be generating 200 new quotes a month. Give me a second. And if
I'm sorry, we got a huge order.
all right, so if I need to generate 200 quotes a month, and it takes me 1.5 opportunities to generate those quotes, and the average value of an opportunity, I really need to develop 300 new opportunities a month. And in order to generate those opportunities, I might need to send out 2 emails or have a sales visit in an email. So I need 625 customer touches a month. So this is the type of analysis you could be doing with the data that you have in Selltis, or begin to make some educated guesses using this as you begin to enter data into Selltis for some of our newer customers. So let me unmute here for a second and see if you have any comments on that as we go along. Does something like this make sense to you? Again, I'm just backing out those numbers through kind of the standard Selltis default sales process.
This is very helpful for me.
Anybody interested in having this? I can email it to all of you if you'd like.
I'm interested, John. This is Sarah.
Okay. Very good. All right. Hey, Deborah, would you do me a favor and just make a note? Can you see who's on the call? Just make a quick note for me of who's here. And we'll get that sent out to you as well as a copy of my PowerPoint. All right.
Oh, good.
There you go. All right, so what we've done today is we've talked a little bit about what the goal record looks like and how it works in Selltis. Again, I didn't want to get technical today. I just wanted to kind of get you guys thinking about where you could use this and how you could start looking at that input. And then in this last couple minutes, we talked about perhaps a more scientific way of starting to figure out what that input goal should be. And again, I can send out this little spreadsheet here, but certainly you could make it yourself too if you'd like. It's nothing fancy, something Brian and I made up a few years ago just to start to put goals in for our various customers. So, all right, what do you guys think?
I think it's given me a lot to think about, really, and I just appreciate that the capabilities are there. I just now have to define and identify exactly what it is we want to be tracking.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I kind of like to think to give us something to think about of how we can, as our goals change from year to year to year, they're always somewhat different, but then again somewhat similar. So different ways that we can use Selltis to pull out something that we already, it's information we already have. We just have to pull it out.
Okay. You guys, all have my email address. If you have a specific example you'd like me to walk through in the next session 2 weeks from today, I would really appreciate that. Otherwise, my example will be probably not as exciting. So, you know, make life easier for all of us. Hey, is that Tom in California with us too?
Yeah, I'm floating here in the background.
Yeah, well, good early morning to you. I'm
sorry, my still got jet lag from Shanghai, so getting up early is not as easy as it used to be when I was 35 years old.
I hear you. I hear you. But it's probably
I missed the beginning of it. You know, I will say my problem with Selltis has to do with upper management problem, and that my people are not near far enough along to get to this level.
Okay.
We have some needs for some goals. We have a new product. The big guy wants to sell 30 a month. I told him 6 months ago, you better be quoting 100 a month already. They've sold 5. They've sold 5 in the last 6 months. So I'm having a little trouble beating some sense into my group as to, you know, the quote generation versus orders and things like that. They seem to think these orders come out of, you know, steam. So anyway, but you know, this is good. I mean, I came in a little bit late, but knowing some of this grafting is capable, give me some stuff to think about, and I'll try not to be late next time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. This seems to be the best time for the majority of people, but you at least...
No, 7 is best for me too, so there's no problem with the time.
Okay, at least it's probably 30 degrees warmer where you are than any of us here in the Midwest.
It is, yes, it is, yes.
So, all right, Tom, it was good to hear from you. All right, take a look at this. I'll send this out to each of you in just a few minutes, along with that little load goal calculator to see if that's of help for you in any way. And please do respond with an example. John, what if we wanted to do this? And I'd certainly love to share that with the crew in a couple of weeks. All right, that's my story. You guys have a great weekend.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Yep. You take care.
All right, see you. Bye.